Hi, I'm Miguel Consing,
And I'm James Gutierrez.
and welcome to TNT Fightcast.
Look at us. We've made improvements.
I know, bro. Congrats. We made it to episode 1.
Yes, sir. Yes,
We made
sir.
it.
I mean, look at this. We've already got better mic setups.
Yep.
This is a little bit more natural. I love it.
I don't have to worry about hitting anything.
Yeah, we didn't have to. We had the whole like boom mic issue
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
of that. This is. I like this. Does this look
good.
better?
It's good.
Let us know. Let us know. Does this look better? Let us know in the comments below if you're watching this, please. Give us suggestions. We're learning.
Dude, your
We're learning.
drink should have been red.
Your drink should have been red. No, I'm red.
blue, dude.
I'm on red. Oh my god. No, one thing that after shooting the first one, one thing that we realized, I would say that we realized is we did not talk about us,
That's true.
and our relationship. Like
We go way back,
I've no what it's college. I would say undergrad. Like it was,
Yeah,
let's solid.
undergrad, yeah.
Let's solid. But I mean, I was also. I mean, you went to Zabel.
Yes, yes.
And I was teaching Taekwondo at Zabel. And we
Yeah, you were a coach.
Yeah, we were both South boys. We just kind of had similar groups, actually.
Yes.
Similar groups. And we were never like super close before. And then through this whole thing, obviously, we started training together with the Arnis, and then
Yeah.
just it slowly kept growing. And dude, I love how we've gotten so much closer through this whole
Dude,
process.
definitely, man. I remember when we would just randomly bump into each other before in the food parks. Remember that? Yeah.
In what was it?
That was 2018, I think.
Was it Mercato?
Yeah, that was in Mercato. Yeah, I
yes.
miss that place, dude.
Yeah, I think they're still around somewhere.
Somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, we are on to episode 1. Episode 1.
Yes, we made it.
We made it. We have a flow now. We
Yes.
have like the people behind the scenes have helped us a little bit, and we have a little bit more structure to this. So I will, like a talk show host, we're gonna get to know Miguel Consing.
Ooh, I didn't expect that, but okay.
Yes,
game.
yes. So we're gonna. No, I mean, like, I think that we obviously are like you being the fight boss. It's you are the promoter, me as the matchmaker. People know us as those things, right? But do they know us per se?
That's a good question,
Per se? For example, I think people do know this, but Miguel is an attorney. He's a lawyer.
Yes, I am.
Attorney. How good does it feel to drop that?
Um,
I'll be honest with you. Be real with me.
when it's appropriate.
When it's appropriate,
It feels good.
Have you ever? It feels good.
When it's appropriate.
Okay, fair. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I was an attorney, I would drop that every single chance I had. There would be no like. When it's appropriate, it's like, no, this is Attorney James Gutierrez. As I enter rooms, entering Attorney James Gutierrez. Oh, see, even just saying it sounds nice, man. But that's why I'm not an attorney. That's why.
See, I'm just like,
No, my background, I jumped around a lot, man. I did psychology was my degree, and then went into HR, recruitment, sales. I jumped around a lot, but I guess where I really found the most, obviously sales is what I did for a long time, but I love hosting events.
dude,
Hosting events is so much, and then I did
it's
that
always
on
so fun when you host, dude. Seriously.
Thank you,
Seriously,
sir.
man.
Thank you, sir. Oh my goodness, I love hosting events. So if anybody's out there, I host weddings. I host.
He's good. He's really good.
Get me for your corporate events. But I mean, it makes sense also why I do the commentary. Like,
Yes,
you guys
yes.
have probably seen it. I mean, and by the way, thank you for bringing me on. Because for those who don't know, it was originally you, correct me if I'm wrong, as the story goes, you thought of me as someone who could do commentary. When you had the idea, this was before I came in to TNT from a more perspective, like a bigger part of TNT, but you saw me from a commentary perspective. On that, I wanted to ask, why me?
Well, because whenever I would hear you talk about sports before, you really paint a picture, it gets me excited, even if it's a game that I haven't seen yet, or a game that, even in a sport that I don't really watch, So I thought to myself that, I need a person who can talk to the crowd and get them excited, because, okay, the thing about watching fights on broadcast is that if there's no commentary, it's boring. On the other hand, if the commentary sucks, it's more annoying.
True.
You know what I mean? So I needed somebody
true.
who knew how to talk to people. And I was just excited because the thing is, I really also I like seeing my friends, do their jobs. Like, I think it's really cool when I see that they're really competent, really capable.
Yeah.
And I knew that you had the talent to do it. And I again, what we said earlier, we are trying to give our fighters a stage, but we're also trying to give other talents a place, to shine.
For sure.
Also, shout out to our prod team, to all of our partners behind the scenes. You guys are really talented, and we wouldn't have gotten this far without you. So thank you so much, guys.
No, it's 100%. 100%
so-
agree with that.
And you being on commentary is part of that, bro.
Thank you, sir.
I just knew that you would be exciting to listen to. I knew that your insights on the bouts would make it more fun to watch. And it just so happens I also knew that you could riff off your partners, your co-hosts, right? So, hey, maybe in the future we can have our regular commentary team plus someone else. Whoever, we'll see. We don't know yet. But
It's not just the American accent, because that's what I that's what I thought.
no,
start.
you know your shit. You know your shit.
Just busting your chops, man.
So yeah, I thought that it would be fun. I thought that you would do a good job, and you have done a good job.
Thank you, sir.
I always tell you that, and you know me, I'm a straight shooter.
Yes,
diba?
you are.
I tell you straight up. And dude, I'm really happy with how the commentary has really, elevated the experience for the broadcast. It's fun. It's really fun to watch. Like, I still watch old bouts, and it's like, oh man, shit, this is fun. And then I hear your reaction, and usually we react about the same things. You know what I mean?
Fair. Like when we that was a fun experience when we were doing TNT 1, and we'll get into this because one of the stuff that I wanted to talk about today is what happens behind the scenes, how everything happens. Like, I guess a good segue into that is when we were building up for TNT 1. We went to the different events and everything. We went to the local events, we saw the amateurs and everything, and we would be, going back to that point, we'd be watching the fight and we'd comment on the same thing. And we were just like riffing with each other. And that was so much fun. That was so much fun.
It was. I remember when I would hear you talk about what was going on in front of me, I was getting excited about how it would come out in the broadcast. Originally, I thought that I could do the commentary alongside you back then, just because I was just thinking that I didn't know who else to find as your partner. I mean, luckily you have a good partner now. And
absolutely.
Shout out to our very good friend Franco Relioda.
Shout out Coach Franco.
Coach Franco Relioda. That guy, he's an expert in combat sports, and his technical analysis of the bouts really elevates the experience. I know I keep on saying it, but it's true. You have fun, you learn. It's educational and entertaining. He's entertainment.
He's the DC to my Joe Rogan, basically.
Yes.
He knows his shit, man.
He knows his shit, yeah.
He definitely can, I love the way he breaks things down.
Yes.
And that's why you have color commentary and you have an analyst.
One of my favorite things to listen to is when Franco analyzes the action and then he predicts what the fighter is going to do next, and he does it. That's really fun to watch.
For sure. I mean, considering how many fights he's watched.
That's true.
It makes sense. It makes sense. But that's just to backtrack a little bit, that's just some of the stuff that happens behind the scenes.
Yes.
Like, part of the production is figuring out how the commentary would be, how the viewers are going to receive the commentary. And that is a big part of it, because that's what they receive. From a production standpoint, attorney over here, guys, attorney. So he took, thank goodness, by the way, all of our legal issues, we didn't have issues, anything that, just
compliance, guys, compliance.
Compliance, I just want to be clear. But all of that, so lucky to have, an attorney on the team. But from that prod perspective, we said last time, there are so many things that we didn't know about what it takes to put on an event. Can you give me a little bit because we worked on different things.
Yes.
Can you give me a little bit of the behind the scenes?
Okay.
How do we start putting together an event?
Okay, so well, we start with four things. First, we have to figure out the budget. I mean, dude, come on. That goes without saying.
True.
Next, we have to figure out the production. Like, what do we want to be there?
Yeah.
What is... First, we have to figure out the venue, right? That's part of prod.
Yeah.
Where it will be held, and when we go there, what do they have? Diba? Do we need to bring in chairs? Do we need to bring in lights? Whatever. We have to figure that out. Next, we got to figure out the compliance. You know, we have to know, do we need permits for this? Do we need a special permit for this particular thing we want to do? Right? Guys, everything needs a permit, seriously. Like,
what was the hardest permit to get?
It's not that it was hard, it's just that it was tedious. The special permit itself, because a fight is a special event, you know. So it isn't just like any other sport, dude. You have people who are trying to beat the shit out of each other in the ring. So you need a special permit for that. So to do that, I had to write letters to the LGU where we would hold our events. And I had to describe to them what we were planning to do. Of course, introduce our company, introduce us to them, and then tell them what we were about. And we also had to assure them that we were going to do our best to make sure that it's a safe and enjoyable experience for everyone. So we had to prepare like a diagram for the fire exits. We had to come up with a security plan. You know, we even had to bring in a medical team. We had to let them know which medical team we were going to get, and then help them get accredited with the LGU. So that's a lot of steps.
I did not know we had to do that.
We had to do that, yes. And those are just the LGU stuff. There's actually more that went into it. Basically, we had to show the LGU that we were a professional organization. That what we were trying to do was within, it was legal, it was within the rules, and that it would be a safe experience for everyone, including the fighters, of course. Next, we had to figure out the permits of the venue. Because guys, that's another thing. Because you're going to need permits for the LGU, where you're going to hold your event, and you're also going to need permits for the venue where you're going to hold your event. So that was also challenging. But we were very lucky that the venues that we worked with helped us and guided us along the way. So guys, thank you so much. Shout out to Phil Oil Coil Center in San Juan and the SMX Convention Center in Pasay City. Is it Pasay, right?
Pasay City.
Pasay,
Correct.
yes, of course, the LGU of Pasay. And thank you guys so much also at the LGUs of San Juan and Pasay. Thank you so much for your patience with us, and thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to hold such great events. So in addition to that, we had to get the permits again from the GAB.
Yeah.
Now, when you hold a professional fight, it has to be sanctioned by the Games and Amusement Board. That's how you ensure that your event is fully compliant with the law and that the best efforts were taken to ensure fighter safety. Because fighter safety is very important to us.
100%.
Like we said before, fighting is a very difficult sport. It's a very tough craft to excel in, to practice, and to compete in.
Yeah.
So we wanted to at least give our fighters the opportunity to perform their best in the most, in the safest environment we could give them. Anyway, so we had to get those. And not only do we get a permit from the GAB in order to hold the event, we also had to help our fighters get their licenses from the GAB. Oh, and our licenses, we're licensed by the GAB.
Yes. I mean, it is, I guess, again, I want to point out to the Games and Amusements Board, thank you so much for all of your support.
Thank you so much.
But it's a little bit like there's so many licenses.
Yes.
Everybody, I mean, I guess that's what it takes to make sure that everybody is, up to a certain standard.
Yes, definitely.
But I can understand the frustrations of some of the individuals within putting together a professional combat sports event, like why they would question getting a license.
That's true.
I understand them. I don't agree with it. I think that we should all get licenses, but the process should also be relatively straightforward and easy.
Yes, definitely. I agree with that. And I remember that some of the fighters that we would first book, they were challenged. They were challenged by getting a professional license because a lot of them have never competed professionally. They have competed, no doubt. Mostly in unsanctioned events, if not amateur events, unsanctioned events. So getting a license and complying with all those rules, that was new to a lot of them. So it was something that we committed to help them with. We of course are booking these guys, so we might as well do what we can to make it as easy as possible for them to get their license. So we really coordinated with the GAB. And luckily, the GAB is well run, and the people that we spoke to there were very kind, very understanding, and really professional. So thank you again to the GAB. Thank you, guys. So in addition to that, we also had to make sure that, okay, so who did I say were licensed so far?
Fighters.
Us.
Cornermen.
Yes, the cornermen have to be licensed. The coaches have to be licensed.
Timekeeper.
Timekeeper has to be licensed. The judges, of course.
Judges need to be
the
licensed.
referees.
Referees, of course.
And plus, we have to find all those people.
Yes.
We had to find all those people. Luckily, since I've been in the scene for a long time, I was able to get some of the best officials to join
Got
us.
all the connections.
You know, to our officials, thank you guys. We really wouldn't have made it without you guys being there, taking the time to get your licenses, to participate, you know, to do a really good job. And we're excited to see you back. So we'll see each other soon. So going back, we got to get those licenses for them, and then we also had to draft contracts for the fighters.
Yes.
We couldn't just tell the GAB, oh, fighter A is going to go against fighter B.
Here's the fight card.
Here's the fight card. No, we had to show them the proof of the agreement we had, because the GAB had to be assured that, you know, they fully gave their consent to participate in this, that we are exerting our best effort, you know, to meet our obligations in the contract. Well, it was very challenging, and it was hard work because we had to prepare so much paperwork, but it was worth it.
Oh, for sure.
Because, you know, we had that assurance. We had that assurance that the government had our back.
Yeah.
So, in addition, so I said LGU permits, I said venue permits, and I said GAP permits, and then I said the contracts.
Contracts. Moral of the story, make sure that you start a business with an attorney. It's super, oh my God. Well, if I was going to do the contracts, it'd be like, Chat GPT, how would I do this contract?
And then
This is why I don't do compliance.
And of course, we also had to make sure that our partners, you know, were compliant with
Correct.
the law. So there were layers to all of this, and we had to accomplish each and every one. But it was, again, like I said, it was worth it because, you know, the peace of mind you have where, you know, you're not worried about any legal issues, and you just want to put on a good show. And then after that, we work on the fight card.
Yes.
You know, now,
Yes.
that is my favorite part. And of course, I trust James, you know, with giving us the best fights. So now I'm going to throw it back to you. James.
Yes.
Especially with regard to your first fight card. Can you tell us about your process, what you looked at, the footage you saw, and what the experience was like for you?
Okay. I guess the process started with really acquainting myself with the local scene. Like who fights professionally in the Philippines. Because unlike, you know, you and your background, you've been in the scene, in the community for many years. I was not. So, I mean, I watch the fights. I know who some of the fighters are, but I'm much more ingrained within the community and have a much wider network of fighters that I'm talking to, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. But it started with that focus on getting familiar with who are the fighters in the local scene. We went to a couple of events together. We saw the amateurs. That was, I'm trying to remember the event.
The one up north, right?
The one up north, yeah.
Fight Yard.
Fight Yard.
Yes.
Shout out Fight Yard. That was a fun event.
That was fun.
Yeah. So that was one of the first ones we went to. It's far. It's far because especially we're not coming from too far. We're coming from BGC, but it was still far. But starting with that, going to the different events, like going to different gyms, just talking to people, just to see if there's anybody interested. And then I start reaching out to the people that I'm interested in. And from there, footage is hard to come by, to be honest. Like especially with the amateur events, if there is footage, it's like shaky cell phone footage.
Yeah,
It's tough to release. Like I was saying before, you can't just go with the record of a fighter and just
It's not easy to verify it.
It's not, especially amateurs, man.
Yeah.
And then even if we look at the professional bouts, at least there's some, like, if it was a professional bout that happened in the Philippines, we can verify it all with the GAB and make sure that they actually had these fights, etc. But amateurs, you could have like a super high level amateur, but who was he really fighting? What was the stipulation? So I try to really either find the right footage or actually see the fighter in person. And then from there, I start. It's like a fantasy draft, basically. Start my dream. This is my dream fight card, and then I have to factor in the other things. Like as soon as I pick the fighters, then I have to think, okay, how are we going to compensate these fighters?
Yes, yes.
That is something that's just like, okay, we pride ourselves. I'd like to say we pride ourselves. We definitely compensate our fighters well. We definitely do, But you have to work, going back to what you said, work within the budget. And we have a set budget, and that means that I am limited also in terms of who I can sign or who I could, get for a fight. Which, it is challenging, but it's I guess part of it, for lack of a way to put it. But that was for the first event. And we'll definitely talk more about this probably in another pod. Just like with all of the lessons we learned from TNT 1 to TNT 2, my process for the fight card in TNT 2 was much different. We'd made a splash already. People know us, so people were coming to me. And I was like, hey, send me your actual footage. Send me the videos. And then that's what I do on a Saturday night. I would instead of going out or watching Netflix, I'm just watching fight videos. I do that already. Now I have a purpose to kind of do it. And I found some real diamond in the rough fighters that way.
Yeah, dude, no doubt. The fight cards that you've set up, dude, especially the last one, dude, they were good. From the first bout to the last, dude, I had a good time. Those fights were really exciting.
For sure. For example, we had one fighter who fought both in TNT 1 and TNT 2, De Los Reyes.
Yes, Manuel, yes.
Manuel De Los Reyes. He was a real, again, I would say diamond in the rough kind of fight. He's had one professional bout prior to joining TNT, if I'm not mistaken. It was with
Warriors.
Warriors
Yeah.
promotion, and it was in Muay Thai, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And that was his own, but he's been training Muay Thai for many, many years. He's a skilled fighter.
Yeah, he was in the national team, and he has extensive amateur experience.
Exactly.
And being able to bring him on board for the first event was, it wasn't that difficult because he was so willing to fight.
Exactly.
And, he really showed us why he deserved to be the co-main event, and it was really exciting and fast-paced. And the technique that he showed us was just an example of the excellent standard that many of our fighters can achieve.
So I wanna ask a question to you about my fight cards. Have there ever been any bouts? We've only had two events, right? But you've seen some of my fantasy fight cards and whatnot. Have there ever been any bouts that I've brought up to you that I wanted to do that you're like, I don't know about that?
Man, I'm game for anything because we're so young, diba?
Yeah, okay.
The promotion is so young, and right now, a lot of the athletes that we're getting, they're actually crossing over from MMA.
Yeah.
We have some that have exclusive striking backgrounds, but we also have a lot that are crossing over. So, striking is a different sport from MMA. There is a lot of overlap, but there are still differences. So, you could have a great MMA fighter transition to kickboxing and not do so well, or vice versa. But the point is, at this point in time, we just have to let the people fight and see who's who.
Fair.
That's why we've developed.
Spoken like a true promoter right there. We gotta let them fight.
We gotta let them fight. Let them fight.
They'll sort it out.
That's why we were gonna put up a ranking system. Remember the one we talked about per weight class. That's
Exactly.
why we're very we're very strict with fighters making weight, because if they go beyond a certain threshold, then their fight doesn't really. Even the results of that fight don't really count for the weight class ranking system that we've established. That said, what's your hot take on this, man? What's your hot take on the scene right now? You said, dude, that you are practically a neophyte. I've been in the scene for more than a decade, but you got enmeshed in it in about a year and a half's time, and you've met a lot of people, and you get to see things from an outsider's perspective. So give us one hot take.
Hot take. Let's see. About the... Ooh, you're going to get me in trouble, huh? You're going to get me in trouble. Let's see. Hot take about the scene. I would say that while the community is very supportive, they're also not. Like, as in, like, it's unenforced. Like, I love working with the community, like the community, all the fighters and everything, and they can be very supportive, but then at the same time, you see like a lot of people not helping their fellow fighters, even from the same gyms, etc. You know, if you want to help a friend of yours who's a professional fighter, go pay for a ticket to his fight. Not just saying that because, you know, that's for any what I would say, any promotion. Doesn't matter. If you're going to support your friend, you know, if they're going to have a fight and you want to support them, go. I'm getting cue cards from the producer that the hot take was not about the community, but it was about the fight card.
Oh, okay.
But let me see if I have a hot take about the fight card. Ooh, okay, because it's like my baby. That's the thing. Like I built that card. There were fights that I wanted to happen that just couldn't. That just couldn't come to terms. I would say my hot take. I want to say.
I'm gonna point the producer right now.
Hot take my hot take. This is a bit of a. This could be a hot take. We have the best cards of any promotion out there right now. We have the best cards. That's it. Like, I've seen the cards. They're all right. And I'm new. I'm new to matchmaking. What do I know? But our cards are bangers. Fireworks from start to finish. And I love the way that we build our events also, because we have professional bouts and we have amateur bouts. And we'll get more into that, but basically the amateur fights, it's our developmental league, so to speak, you know, and I love that we are highlighting all of those. We just have better cards.
Wow,
Gusto mo
James.
mag-away? Bring it up.
Naghahanap ng away.
Hanap ng away? Yun.
Is that a new segment? Naghahanap ng away?
I think it is. Well, we'll
Guys,
reference
this is episode 1.
Episode 1. So we're thinking of different segments.
We'll figure it out.
This is how we'll do it. Like, if ever I'm looking, that's so konyo too. If I'm looking for away, so konyo, man. But I will give a hot take. If you drop that for this is how it'll work. I mean, we're workshopping here, guys. So you will say like, oh, hanap ka ng away? And I'll be like, then I'm gonna look straight at the camera. I'm gonna get my hot take.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
We'll incorporate it. We're gonna get better at this.
Yeah, we'll get better at it, you know.
Yeah.
Guys, episode 1.
Episode 1.
Okay. So, what would you say is...
Oh, no, I have a hot take.
Okay, go
I have a hot
for it.
take. I feel... Oh, shit. Do I want to say this? Oh, man. I have a hot take. It's not about the fight card. It's about the... this is a hot take. The main event for TNT 2?
2?
Yeah, De Los Reyes and Tozon. I don't think it should have been a draw.
Yeah?
I don't think it was a draw. I get why.
Yeah. I get it.
I get why, but I'm glad I'm in the commentary booth and not a judge. Like, that is tough. But I don't think it was a draw.
So, who did you think won the fight?
Ooh, that's the hot take right there. That's the hot take right there.
But guys, for sure, we're gonna have those two fight again. You know, there is unfinished business between
100%.
Kimbert Alentoson and Manuel De Los Reyes. Guys, the Hunter and the Black Panther, they're gonna fight again. We're gonna make the announcement, once things are finalized, but they will fight again. Because these guys, they have to settle it on the record.
For sure. As in, it's tough because Manuel was doing so well, but he kept getting deductions. Like, that's the thing. Like, he was outpacing Kimbert, in my opinion. But the deductions are really what held him back. But did he need to get all of those deductions, or could there have been a better way? Like, would it have been better to have disqualified him because of the deductions, or would it have been like, let's not? But I mean, if we're looking purely at skill, I think Manuel was the better fighter that night. And if I was going to call it, that's what I'd call it, man. Yeah.
Well, kickboxing is a relatively new sport, so
Yeah.
a lot of our fighters aren't used to the rule set yet. Because, like I said earlier, a
Yeah.
lot of them
Muay Thai.
are
Muay Thai
transitioning
background.
from Muay Thai or MMA. Now, one of the differences between kickboxing and Muay Thai and MMA is that elbows are not allowed. In that fight, Manuel threw a couple of elbows.
Oh.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was one of the reasons. I mean, I saw all of
that was why he got a deduction. But that was after he got dazed.
Okay.
Remember Kimbert hit him really hard in the
Yeah,
head,
yeah.
and then he
Caught
fell,
him.
right? And after that, he was just dazed and just fighting off instinct.
Oh, it went into his Muay Thai background.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So for a lot of
makes
these
sense.
fighters, the challenge also is their own programming.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the fighters who are used to throwing elbows might start throwing them again if they just rely on their instincts. Like and this usually happens when they get knocked down, diba? So again, since kickboxing is a new sport, I think at some point now we're gonna have to at least do a quick briefer on the rules.
I think we should.
We should, right?
And,
Yeah.
Well, we could do
Just the basics.
We could bring in one of the fighters. We could bring in. We got some boggy boy fighters. We got some boggy boy fighters. Like shout out Lucian Choi. You know I'm gonna go to you, Lucian. And Lucian, you'd be game, right? Yeah. Shoot me a message, man. But get someone like Lucian. Any of our fighters. All of our fighters are great. They are. But any of our fighters could do that. We could do hey, this is how an instructional video.
Yeah.
Like those. Like the instructional videos you'd see for the Japan Olympics kind of thing.
Something like that.
Make it kind of cute.
Something like a kickboxing 101 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Something like that.
These are the TNT rules. Something like that. I can do the voiceover.
we can make a script for that. Yeah.
Why not? But there's so much that happens behind the scenes. What the audience gets, either live or if they're watching on the telecast or they're watching the pay-per-view, they're getting a polished, as polished as we can make it. We're gonna be better. We're gonna keep putting on better events. But to get to that point, there's so much. And there's one question I wanted to ask, going back to the prod stuff that we were talking about. When you are looking to have an event, venue is obviously super crucial. How do you go about finding the right venue?
Okay. When it comes to the venue, the first thing we think about, of course, is accessibility. Whenever we look at venues, we try to see how people can get there either with a car or with public transportation. So it's very important for us that we make it easy for not just for our fighters to get to the venue, but also for our audience to get to the venue. So we really scout. We literally drive around Metro Manila. I remember before TNT 1, we drove around Metro Manila asking these venues for details, for people we could talk to in case we were interested, and we would narrow it down. And luckily, our last event, the venue actually approached us. SMX Convention Center reached out to Trixie, and they told us that they were interested in partnering with us for the last event.
And they've been a great partner.
And of course,
partner.
We were very surprised, diba? Because we were like, wow, we didn't expect this, diba? So they reached out to us, we partnered up, and the event was so smooth, and the big part of that was because it was in such a good venue. It was in a place where the audience didn't have a difficult time parking. The fighters could easily get to the venue. Even the transportation of the materials wasn't very difficult because there was so much space. So when it comes to production, the very first thing we really have to consider is the venue where the fight is going to be held.
Yeah.
Because that also affects, again, the compliance. Because, you have to know the LGU you're supposed to submit all of those permits to, right?
That is your department, my good sir.
You have to secure permits in every LGU. So it's very important to get a good layout of, of the location.
For sure.
And then after that, we have to determine what do we need to bring in. You know, because if the venue already has seats,
Yeah.
then we
Much
don't have to
easier.
worry. Yeah, it's much
Yeah.
easier. We don't have to worry about it. But if the venue doesn't have seats, then we have to look for a supplier for that.
Correct.
You know, same thing with the lights. Same thing with the LEDs.
Exactly.
You know, so once
And
we
with SMX, it was a blank canvas, which was
Yes.
great because we could build the show that we wanted.
Yes.
And it came out fantastic. It from how it looked, from the stage, from people walking out, like it was really, really cool. There are things that we learned that we will, definitely improve with future events, but man, was it cool.
Yeah.
Man, was that cool.
dude, it's surreal. Just to look back, see the pictures, like, wow, we built that, which is crazy.
I wish I had more pictures. I'm not gonna lie. Like, as in, you have a lot of pictures
I
from the
think
event
Trixie has more pictures.
of me.
No,
No, see,
not
that's-
of you. I meant
that's what,
of
that's
the
what I'm saying.
event.
Of me, because you have a bunch of photos. You walking around. You got the suit and everything. It looks good. But then me, I'm just like, because I'm stuck in the commentary booth. There's a couple.
Hey, but you guys look good in the commentary booth,
Yeah, for sure.
And dude, like the energy that you and Franco bring to the podcast, to the broadcast. The broadcast. We'll edit that out.
Market.
The energy you guys bring to the broadcast, dude, it really makes it so much more fun to watch. It's already, if you're a fan, it's already fun to watch. But especially if it's your first time to watch a fight, the commentary really helps.
For sure.
I would honestly equate it to the commentary in pro wrestling shows. Because
Okay.
dude, like when you watch a pro wrestling show, part of the fun is listening to the commentary, telling the stories of the bouts.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So
And I am a storyteller.
yes, you are. That you are.
That's literally in my LinkedIn headline. Storyteller, combat sports junkie, storyteller. Like,
well,
it works, man.
it works. So it's really fun to watch, and it also educates the crowd. At least in the broadcast.
For sure.
Because even if it's easy to understand, it's also nice to have someone explain to you what's happening in the ring, as well as the story behind the fight. It just makes the experience more immersive.
For sure. What do you think it's going to take to get, like, I guess I kind of asked this before, but like, that education component to kickboxing, right? It's easy to understand, a punch to the face, we always say it, it's easy, people get it, but what is it going to take for, like, the common person to be, like, understand it, kind of like how they understand boxing, for example?
More fights.
More fights.
We just gotta show our
Are you
audience
committing to more events, Mr. Consing?
as many events as we can.
There it is.
So, so sorry, back to the production, right?
Yeah.
So, along with the production of the actual fight itself, we also have to build hype for the fights.
Oh, yes.
And our fans know that we release videos. Basically, these are our trailers.
For sure.
These are our hype videos, and
Dude, they look so cool too.
Yeah,
They look
they are.
so good.
they're pretty cool.
Let's plug the Sega. Sega.
Yeah, Sega. Thank you, Sega.
Sega's the one who
Sega Productions.
Sega Productions. They conceptualized. They shot it. They edited it. It came out stellar. Like this,
Yeah.
especially this last one. Oh my goodness! All of the videos look great. And then it's again, that's me and the hosting, right? I like hyping things up. Having those videos, especially because we're trying to put together a world class, like not just like we're gonna be on the local. We're on the local stage now, but we are not just limiting ourselves to that. We want to be comparable to anyone else out there, and I really feel that our trailers are on that level.
I think so as well. You guys are free to watch our videos on our Facebook page, and I think they're also on our YouTube
Yeah,
and Instagram as well.
Yeah, if you're watching this, you probably already follow us. But if you don't, we're gonna put the links right here, somewhere here,
Somewhere.
somewhere here. We'll figure it out. But yeah, check. Like all of our videos are there. I mean, I'm excited about how we're gonna do our next. The next hype videos.
Yeah.
Because I'm like throwing in ideas, because like that's a big part of it. Like as in you see like UFC, you know, they do their videos really. I mean, obviously they have the
Yeah, they're the UFC,
There's
dude.
the UFC. They have a crazy budget for it, right? But the way that they tell the story is so much fun.
You know, that's my favorite part of promoting. I love telling stories, and the hype videos are a huge part of that. You know, I think that, well, for me, as a fight fan, I love watching the fights after I've seen the video, because you know I know the drama behind it all. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, shit, this guy fights, because this is his dream. He's always wanted to do this. This other guy fights because it's the only thing he's good at, and he has to feed his family. You know, shit like that. Dude, those stories, they make the fights more interesting, and they raise the stakes.
For sure.
You know, because you know what they're fighting for. They're not just fighting for that particular win. They're fighting because they're fighting for something so much deeper than that.
Exactly. And I want to just give to those watching, any of these fighters that you would like their story to be told, drop it in the comments.
Let us know.
Let us know. So that we can invite them on the pod. We want to have these conversations. We like telling stories, and it hypes it up. Put the names down. I'll reach out to them. Hey, maybe we can get a fight for them too. But I'm very meticulous with my matchmaking.
That is true.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I think we got to wrap it up, man. I think we've been here, it's been about almost, I don't want to say an hour. It's been like, 45 minutes? That goes back to, dude, 5-minute conversation easily just goes on.
I know, right? We weren't even supposed to talk this long, but here we are.
Here we are, man. It's cool. Because
cool.
now we could just, shoot the shit, but now we have a podcast to do it.
I know.
I love it, man.
Dude.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tune in next week.
Yeah.
I've been James.
I'm Miguel. See you guys soon. Handa ka na ba?